Hello, friends. You're welcome to this lesson converting from fraction to decimal. We all know that you can convert from decimal to fractions, and then we also know that decimals are fractions in which their denominators may be 10 or multiples of 10. Let's see example. For instance, if we have 0.1, it is also known as 1 over 10 for a fraction. How do we know that? The decimal is 1 and 0 for one decimal place. That is how we convert from decimals to fractions. So now let's look at 0.5. Converting to fraction is 5 over 10. How did we get 5 over 10? Because the decimal stands for 1 and the one decimal place stands for 0. Let's look at another example of converting from decimal to fraction. 0.75 converted gives us 75 over 100 because the decimal stands for 1 and 2 decimal places stands for 0. And that's how we got 75 over 100. So if you're converting from fraction to decimal, just know that it has to do with denominators being in units of 10. Another example, 0.888 gives us 888 all over. What will be our denominator? The decimal will be 1, and then we will have 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. Because of 3 decimal places. So the fraction will be 888 all over 1000. This is simply how we convert from decimal to fraction. I was trying to recap how we can convert from decimal to fraction before I go over from fraction to decimal. Now, if we have fractions we want to convert to decimal, let us tackle fractions like 1 over 10, denominators in tens. Every whole number has a denominator which is 1. So the idea of converting a fraction with a denominator 10 is to try to make the denominator 1 by moving the decimal from the end to 1. And whatever you do at the denominator, you must do in the numerator, which will give us the decimal moving from 1 to 0.1. Therefore, 1 over 10 is equal to 0.1. Note that this method works for only fractions with denominators 10 or units of 10. So we have 5 over 10. So we'll try to make 10 1 by moving the decimal, which is in front of the 0 of 10, moving it backwards to your left. So when you move it backwards to your left, the denominator will change from 10 to 1. And then you do the same thing at the denominator in the numerator, which becomes 0.5. There's a rule that works in fractions. Whatsoever you do in the denominator, you must do in the numerator. For example, moving decimals from one place to the other. Therefore, 5 over 10 will give us 0.5. Now let's tackle 25 over 100. Using the same method, trying to turn the denominator, which is 100, to 1, we count 2 decimal places in the denominator and also in the numerator. So what will we have? 1, 2 in the denominator, and in the numerator 1, 2, giving us 0.25. 0.25 is the decimal conversion for 25 over 100. Remember that this method works mostly for fractions that have denominators of 10 or units of 10. Now we're going to convert other types of fractions that do not have denominators of like 10, but other numbers. For example, 2/5. We're going to use the long division method. Now in this method, 5, the denominator, is the divisor, and 2 is the divided number. So to divide a number that is less than its divisor, we're going to put a decimal at the top and a 0 by the side of 2, giving us 20. So that will give us 20 divided by 5, which is 4. So we're going to write 4 above the 0, and then we'll multiply 4 by 5. 4 by 5 will give us 20, and then we'll subtract, which will give us 0. Therefore, the decimal conversion for the fraction 2/5 is 0.4. Let us try another example. Given a fraction 4/7, convert this to a decimal. So we'll use the long division method as well. We'll write 7 as a divisor and 4 as a number to be divided. At this point, we'll write the decimal above the 4 and 0 beside the 4, giving us 40 divided by 7. 7 divides 40 into 40 5 times, so write 5 right above the 0. 5 times 7 will give us 35. Subtracting 40 minus 35 will give us 5. A natural 0 will just appear, which will give us 50 divided by 7 will give us 7 because of 49. And then we'll subtract and we'll have 1. So that will give us approximately the decimal for the conversion of 4/7 as 0.57. So our final answer will be approximately 0.57 for conversion for 4/7. Now let's look at more examples of fractions with denominators of tens. So we have 8/10. So we'll convert 10 to 1 by moving the decimal to one place. Therefore, we'll have 0.8. The next example is 6/10. We'll move the denominator, the decimal, to 1, and also move the decimal from 6 to 0.6. Let us convert 75/100. So we're going to move the decimal 2 times to 1 and 2 times in the numerator, giving us 0.75. You see how easy that went. That actually is not a difficult problem. Thank you so much, and see you in our next class.